Yo, hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe and comment down below if you got any questions or criticisms about the video. Hello, YouTube. I keep saying 2 videos ago this would be my last one, but here I am again. There's only 2 kinds of people in this world. Those who need closure. But it's another AlphaStar cast, and spawning here to the top right, it's going to be the red human player, the red Protoss, exited. And to the bottom left, once again as Zerg, we have the ever-missing, corrosive piling, blue AlphaStar. Now, what we've seen so far is that AlphaStar Zerg, at least on the cast I've managed to get my hands on, appears to be the most beatable of all the races so far. I'm really interested in this the most because I truly do enjoy watching Zerg players as much as you might hear me balance wine otherwise live on a stream. But for Exited here, it's PvZ. It's a pretty straightforward matchup. And one thing we've seen out of AlphaStar Zerg is that it likes to do Roaches and Ravagers. I don't even know if it has other builds associated with it, but if there's one matchup where you can make Roaches and Ravagers work, it's certainly ZVP. But there's a clock on that one. I've watched and cast a lot of pro players, Koreans especially, who die at the 8-minute mark because of Roaches and Ravagers. So we'll see what exit it has in store for this AI. But I will also say really quick that this is definitively, I know last time I said I'd probably be gone for a couple days and take a couple days off, and then I didn't. I once again did another big stream tonight and then made sure to try to record this to get it out for the morning. But I think this will have to be my last AlphaStar cast for a small period of time. First off, there are limited AlphaStar replays out there for access, so it's difficult to get a hold of these in the first place. But secondly, I've got to go back to uploading some more of our regular tournament-related content, highlights, cool games, what have you. So for the folks who have joined me for these AlphaStar casts, I mean, I can't tell you how much you've made me so happy on YouTube. Not a lot of you care for the large backstory here, but what we need to know is Base Trade TV 2 is a remake of Base Trade TV because our channel got shut down and it was years down the drain of just bad stuff. So restarting from scratch has been really tough. Starting over, losing all our subscribers, and I should be casting the game, but I'm taking this moment in this last AlphaStar cast because I know this will be the last video that gets big views. Not a lot of you are going to be interested in the non-AlphaStar stuff, but I just want to take the early game here, not to shout out sponsors, not to talk about anything other than just a genuine thank you, because for this last week, this is the most I've felt like a real YouTuber. Having so many people enjoy the video is one thing, like the views are cool, but all the comments, getting to interact with you guys, this is everything I've wanted for 5 years of doing YouTube. And restarting just made me think this would never be a goal I'd achieve again, but yeah, so thank you so much. Even if you've only subscribed for AlphaStar and you probably won't be around watching the regular normie StarCraft videos I put out, I promise I'll end this here. We'll get to casting, but just I really want to say thank you to everybody who's taken a minute out of their day to hear this message. You're awesome. Stay awesome. Let's get to the StarCraft 2 part of it. Now, our Protoss player's gone for the Scout, and it's that reminder again that with no control groups, and I'm trying to show you guys right now, but there are no control groups for AlphaStar. There are control groups for Protoss, but not for AlphaStar. So again, just kind of confirming, reaffirming that it's AlphaStar in this case. But again, Exited doesn't know this. Not that I think it would really change his playstyle, because what was interesting was during this limited ladder run of AlphaStar, it's not like one person figured out you could cheese AlphaStar and automatically win, and then pass the information around to everybody else. So I don't think there would actually be an inherent advantage, even if they knew that this was the AI. But, oh, here comes that Oracle. Quick reaction out of the drones. Nice pull away. Messes up the build on the Spore Crawler. Interesting. Noteworthy AlphaStar. But despite all the losses we've had at Zerg, I would like to remind you all that AlphaStar has a 50, I think it was 52 out of 60, or maybe it's 53. I'll fix this in editing. But a 52 or a 53 win record out of 60. So, I mean, there's a lot of people who died to AlphaStar, even though we've seen a few people kill him. Or kill it here on the channel. That being said, this might be a bad game. Oh, it was a Stargate, we knew that much. But if it's Void Rays, this might get even worse. Because as we mentioned before, AlphaStar likes to go Roaches. And is, once again, at least for now, building some Roaches. These aren't going to shoot up. these are not going to shoot the Void Rays. And if it's Immortals coming behind it, then this is just the perfect anti-Zerg build. And if this is a straight shutdown of AlphaStar, we'll know for certain that this Zerg is the worst of the races. But almost grabbing the Oracle, 13 health, it will barely escape. Providing scouting, providing revelations will be very valuable. It's aware that it's Void Rays too, but as we mentioned, AlphaStar, as we learned from the comment section and from other content creators confirming, it was never meant to learn through these ladder replays. It was just testing builds. So this is going to be kind of awkward. Pros and cons, real quick, right? On one side of this is if this is kind of that Roach max out style where you just want to get a big attack going quick with a lot of units, you could overwhelm the player who only has a single Void Ray. But if Exited gets like 3 or 4 Void Rays, those are going to tear through Roaches. And even though they don't get bonus damage versus Queens or Ravagers, that's a lot of damage to still put out towards those units. For me, the big question of how this game plays out will boil down to mostly, does AlphaStar attack or defend with these units? Because if he's across the map attacking, putting pressure on Exited, it doesn't matter how many Void Rays he has as long as he can never bring them across the field to punish AlphaStar for its actions. But on the other hand, if AlphaStar is playing defensively, all these Roaches aren't going to do you any good when it comes to dealing with Void Rays, and there are more Void Rays, at least one more Void Ray on the way. I like the idea of the Void Ray to clean up Overlords because Nidus Worms are such a problem for Protoss. It doesn't even matter whether it's AlphaStar or not. A player throwing a Nidus Worm into the Protoss's main is never fun to deal with. So by removing the Overlords from play, there's not going to be any scouting for such potential, and that's where I think there's a little bit of a safety net for Exited, still not knowing what's going on. But 2 Void Rays are exiting this Warp Prism across the map. At the same time, we do have the move out from AlphaStar. And look, I'm not going to start calling base trades anytime soon, but that might be what ends up happening here. Of course, there's no scouting. Okay, Exited now sees the Roaches. He's got to make a hard decision. Does he keep going with the attack, or does he pull back to deal with this? Right now, the Zealot attack in the middle of the map is not a good idea. It's a distraction for sure, but those Roaches, we talked about that max out. It's 86 army supply to 23! And granted, a large portion of this army supply, okay, it's Void Rays that just got recalled back home. But even though, like, 3 Void Rays can't be counterattacked here, I don't know if they have the damage. Even if they overcharge and just sit above the Roaches, I don't know if he has enough damage to kill all of this before it kills him. I do like the stasis traps. This has got some real good potential to hold here. 3 Archons are on the wrong side of this wall, so until the wall gets torn down, they can't contribute to the fight, which feels a little bit bad. Void Rays pop that prismatic alignment. It does make the move 25% slower, but do a hell of a lot more damage. +6 bonus damage versus armor for 14 seconds. But AlphaStar does the right move and it walks away. A lot of these big changes I've talked about in live casts, Locust from Swarm Host, Hellbats, and now Void Rays to the prismatic alignment. You just walk away. That's how you deal with all of those. You just walk away. The health of the Locust times out. The Hellbats are too slow to chase. In this case, the Void Rays lose that bonus damage, but they still come in, and as pointed out, they've got a lot of damage even without the bonus. Storm's nearly done here, though, for Exited. That can help wash off a lot of these Lings. Corrosive Vials are bad as expected. We've talked about this before, but AlphaStar's aggression continues with double the army supply. He's going to break down this wall. Now he gets on top of the Archons. The Archons try desperately to take out the Lings, but not before they themselves go down. No Warp Prism Micro until it's a little bit too late. Void Rays standing still. Got to be careful. You don't want to eat those Corrosive Vials. It is a truly embarrassing moment if you lose your units to Corrosive Bile from AlphaStar, but oh my god, the Queen's waddled slowly across the map. We do have a counterattack from our Protoss player, but it's only killing 1 base. It killed a lot of drones, sure, but he's lost control back at home. It's taking so long to clean up. I mean, the thing is, these Void Rays would, on paper, eventually clean this up, right? But not before he's taken way too much damage. Knocked down to 17 probes. Oh my god, are we actually going to see a game of AlphaStar Zerg win a match? It just feels like the supplies are way too different. Master Link to Master Link, it's not going to be recovered from this. These Zealots are still doing crazy good damage on the other side of the map, in fairness. And if it can wipe out all of Alpha Probe's, or AlphaStar's drones, messing this up all over the place. If it can take out all the drones, then maybe there's potential, but the drones are pulled away. There's another base. There's another base. There's just too much to handle. Meanwhile, the main base has been destroyed. There's barely any workers working. What few there are mining off of this base. He did manage to get Storm completed before he lost control of the main. So Templar bulk up enough energy. Hold on, maybe I'm getting a little too ahead of myself with this call. If Exited goes pretty much right now, I feel very strongly he could do some damage because he's got that army supply to work with right now. 31 army supply is a lot. But the longer the game goes on, the more AlphaStar is going to benefit from having this income. More drones, more roaches, and we're going to see round 2 of the exact same attack all over again. I mean, the cannons here were a very clutch move to try and hold off what he thought was the end of the game. Unfortunately, by investing in all these cannons, this is like 1, 2, 3, 4 extra gateways he could have had, more warp-ins, more void rays, more anything than what's currently on the map. And these queens have so much energy. Oh my god, there's gonna be so many transfuses. I don't think the void rays can actually kill the queens. Oh my goodness. They're gonna try to, but yeah, shield's getting already stripped away. He doesn't feel comfortable and backs away. Exited making the right moves. Continue to invest in air, because I guess that's all he really could do with his gateways. All haven't been torn down / depowered. So his army supply suffers. Feedbacks on the queens here would be nice. Take away their transfuse, and you take away their survivability. So, well, you know, big monster storms are always flashy and cool. Feedbacks can go a long way. Now, those feedbacks aren't going to kill the queens, but without transfuses, now the void rays have an opportunity to actually kill the queens. Yep, that shift Q. Nice target fire here. Once all the queens are dead, the roaches will be next, but the roaches aren't sitting here around the queens idly waiting to die. They're pushing for an attack to win the game. Now, luckily, with all the cannons up for the defense, there's a pretty good chance he might be able to hold this if the void rays were at home. But they're not. They've cleaned up the queens in the middle of the map. He's lost control of the main and natural, and he's really just on this one base play. Exited with these void rays still idling in the middle of the map. Is he waiting on a recall? No, recall's off cooldown. I don't know what he's doing. He's just not reacting. I guess he was maybe distracted, focused on the lings of the main base. If that's the case, great distraction tactics out of AlphaStar, no doubt about it, but this barcode roach Zerg player with no control groups, still no control groups. Microing like a madman, macroing like a madman too, back on the other side of the field. So many more roaches are on the way, plus 2 weapons just completed as well. Boy, those queens earlier really could have benefited from that, but as these void rays come in for some kill damage, I mean, they could theoretically snipe the hatcheries. A hatchery dies in like seconds flat to this many void rays prismatically aligned, but he doesn't even kill the spore crawler. The control here's a little bit awkward. We have another attack on the other side of the field, perhaps waiting to recall. Maybe that's why he was being so tentative with these void rays. If he recalls, though, I don't know if he's going to recall in time. The Nexus might die before the recall finishes. Nope, he does get back home. Okay. All right, baby, let's make this work. Let's do this. Void rays doing work here on the roaches, but there's still just so many of them. 6 void rays in play. Roaches are dying. I mean, there's 1 base left standing. That corrosive bile. I was gonna say, is that even gonna hit the pylon? Its corrosive biles are so bad. It's so funny watching AlphaStar play roaches and ravagers. Not just because it was a build designed to be roaches and ravagers. Maybe it's easy. It's just it's so bad at executing the ravager part of roach ravager. But I gotta tell you, Exited's still hanging in there. But with more bases coming down, and again, longer time mining, 70 drones in play. Even if AlphaStar doesn't have it in its coding to move to Hydralisks or Corruptors, we're at this point of the game where the void rays are just, it's not that they don't have enough damage, they're gonna be too slow. They have to either sit at home forever turtling up, allowing AlphaStar to run away with the rest of the map, or they go for the attack and they can't get home in time to defend. I mean, yeah, there's maybe gonna be a recall up and available, but that's a big maybe. More Templar being warped in for more storms. I mean, all area of effect damage at this point of the game, beyond valuable. But still, this is where AlphaStar is like contemplating maybe attacking. I mean, the creep tumors have seen this army. It's going to respond to the army? I say that with a question mark, by the way, not a definitive statement, but it looks like it's going to have to. 111 supply still for AlphaStar. Storms on top of everything. Corrosive bile's trying to land. They do actually hit a Templar. I don't understand. Anyone who gets hit by AlphaStar's corrosive bile should honestly earn an achievement called like unable to move or something, but oh, these queens looking to clean up the void rays. These void rays are all Exited has left. 23 probes and 1 base is not enough. These queens will push this off. And back at home, I mean, it feels so bad. He's tried to take his natural twice now. He's been denied twice now. 3 total Nexus have died. That's the main natural and then natural again. I just don't know what he can do. I think the time's up. GG, well played for the right call. Ladies and gentlemen, AlphaStar wins a game of Zerg!